Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope everything is good. Everything here is a bit of a mess. I don't know how that's any different than normal, but I did work down here this weekend, and I enjoyed myself. So there's shavings everywhere because I was using hand planes for once. I did glue ups, fun stuff. But I screwed up, and maybe we'll mention that later. But for right now, I want to share something with you, and that is my daughter. If you've been watching for any length of time, you've probably heard me mention my kids, and I have two. I have a 15-year-old and an 11-year-old. And the 11-year-old is Keely. She's the soccer player. And I've talked about Keely a lot because Keely didn't mind. I don't necessarily mention my oldest daughter by name because she didn't like it. She was embarrassed about it. She kind of was shy about it. So I just kind of left her off. She's been on the show more than once, and that's been fun. But I just kind of left her out of the conversation because I didn't want to embarrass her. But we are getting into a realm where our heads are colliding, and I wanted to share some of her stuff. And so I told her to send me some pictures and that I might put them on the internet, and she did. So I think that's consent, right? But her name is Rowland, and she is an artist. And when I say artist, I mean that in the truest sense of the word. Like, that's all that she is in this world. She loves all forms of expression. And art means, everything to her. Drawing, painting, theater, music. Like, she loves the expression of art in its myriad of forms. And she's multifaceted, multi-talented. But if you've been paying attention to me over the last month, I've posted now 23 drawings that I've done in the course of February. And I'm going to continue drawing every day and trying to share that. I've also been mentioning that I'm interested in doing some woodcut. And for no other reason than it's a fun hobby, I think. I hope it is. I haven't tried it yet. But in theory, it's a good hobby. And I've always been very interested in kind of that medieval line art style that was woodcut. That, super simple lines stamped into paper. And I've wanted to try to emulate that for a long time. I just never really did a lot of art, but I've been doing more lately, and I've been showing it to her and connecting. So when I mentioned this, she said, well, that's what we're doing in art class. And I said, what? And she said, yeah, they're doing lino cut, which, if you don't know, wood cut is you take a piece of wood and you take some chisels and you gouge out something in the wood, and it essentially makes a stamp. Think of a rubber stamp. Well, a lino cut, it uses linoleum. So instead of wood, you use a piece of linoleum, and you do the same process. And the linoleum is easier to work with if you're working by hand, because the linoleum gives a little bit, so it leaves a richer impression on the paper if you're doing it by hand. So she's been doing it in art, and I'm going to show you a couple of pictures of the very basic start to her piece. And it is Beetlejuice, which she's in love with right now. And she said it was scary, but she's doing it, and she doesn't want to cut herself, but she's been really interested in it. So she went this weekend, she bought herself a set of lino cut tools, and then she asked me to make her a bench hook. So yesterday she came over, and I've been working on her art box. If you haven't seen this yet, I'll give you a preview. I've been making her a box like such that has drawers that are made to hold pencils. So they're really shallow drawers, just made to hold her art pencils. And I showed her that, and I told her that it's messed up and that I have to kind of start over yet again. I've started over on this project so many times, and I can't seem to get it right. But I think I have a solution to salvage all the work that I did this weekend. And she said, I was going to ask you to make me a bench hook, but it seems like you've got a lot going on. And I was like, listen, we can make a bench hook. That's like 3 pieces of wood and some glue. And so we made her a bench hook yesterday. She took it home, and I think she's going to use it. But now I think, our worlds are colliding a little bit. I've been really enjoying the art process and And so I have, I've got ink now, I've got a brayer now, I've got chisels. I'm ready to actually do some cutting. I just have to find the image that I'm willing to cut and give it a shot. And not for any reason other than I just want to try it. Like I don't have aspirations of being an artist. I'm not going to expect you to buy my stuff. It's just, I'm doing it for me, and I'm doing it because I enjoy. I've been really enjoying the drawing process. I've been really enjoying the kind of meditative process of just drawing for me. Not for any particular reason other than to just put some images from my head on paper. And I think that combining that with wood and with chisels and with my other love, which is, woodworking, I think that I might find something that I really, really do enjoy spending my time at. And I'm not necessarily looking to like make a living from it, right? Or to try to sell it. I'm not doing it for money. I'm doing it for me. And, when it comes to Rowland, she's inspired me a lot that way, because a lot of her art is just like her thoughts and creations. And she doesn't necessarily, she's not doing it to try to get some sort of social media following or whatever. She's doing it because that's what she's compelled to do. And it's really inspiring. She's actually inspired me quite a lot because of her drive to create is so intense. And as a dad, to be inspired by your kids, that's a pretty awesome feeling, I think. I'm pretty proud. So that's what I've been up to. What have you been up to? How was your weekend? I hope everything went great. Let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow. Today's episode was brought to you by the word abstruse. It's an adjective. Arcane, complex, difficult to understand and learn. Bob began to wish there was, in fact, a Santa Claus because he found the simple instructions to his son's bicycle far too abstruse. Abstruse. A-B-S-T-R-U-S-E.